For this DIY, I made a simple table organizer shelf using inexpensive items. And to start with, I used some wood blocks that I picked up from Five Below. And I'll also link some other inexpensive options in the description box for those that would like to purchase some. So I have several boxes and I wanted to try to make something nice like a little table shelf. And to do this, I created a design using four individual blocks. And I just glue these together with wood glue and hot glue. Now, on each block I used a small little craft stick to kind of, just swap a bit of the wood glue onto each end. And I left like this little blank area in the middle for a dab of hot glue. And if you put too much of the wood glue on the ends with the hot glue, I found that it really doesn't stick well. So just a little of the wood glue is all you need. And because these blocks are not exactly perfect, you may have a tiny crack between some of the blocks. And I just fill those in or each seam with the wood glue. And I kept a bowl of water nearby as well as paper towels, a cloth, and a small little paintbrush just to make doing this a lot easier. So the shape I made for the vast majority of the blocks kind of looked like a capital E. And all I did was just simply repeat this several times. And once each capital E is created, I'm going to refer to that as a whole block. For the blocks that will be placed on the very ends, I closed the E shape with another block. This is only for the blocks that will be on the outside. So you just want to prep several of these for your walls of your shelf. So when you start building this, it'll make it a lot easier. The shelf in general is 2 blocks wide, two of the whole blocks wide. And once there's a bunch of the whole blocks kind of prepped up, then you can start assembling everything together. You can create like a single table, a little sofa table, make it any shape or size that you want to. For the design that I went with, I just laid out 7 blocks long, obviously by 2 blocks wide. And you can see here the ends are the only ones that had the extra block on the end. Once these are all laid out, then just simply glue them together using the same glues. I used the wood glue and the hot glue, and I just took my time to make sure I fill in each of those little cracks. In case you don't know, because I didn't, unlike caulking or putty, the wood glue sinks into the crack once it's dry. So you may want to use caulk from Dollar Tree. They have some in their stores, and that way, won't sink in the cracks. So I glued a lot of these whole blocks together side by side so that they would be too wide, which will make it easier when you're building. When the bottom is fully glued, I started working my way up and I just split the center on the fourth block. And it's the fourth block counting from either side, from the left or from the right. It's the fourth one. And on that fourth one, I mark the center. I add my glues and the 2 blocks going up. From here, it's just pretty much self explanatory. I just keep, stacking the blocks and gluing them too wide on top of each other. So the pattern is 2 blocks high on one end, 2 blocks high in the middle, and 4 blocks high on the other end. So that way the shelves will be kind of staggered, sort of like a little cubicle. So I tested out how well everything was holding as I went. And once I got to the side with the 4 blocks high, I just went on ahead and stopped here so I could paint it before adding the glass tops. And I used Krylon spray paint to paint that. And while it's drying, I grabbed 2 of the long picture frames from Dollar Tree, and you'll need 2 glass panels for each glass top. So I just removed the glass panel from the frames, sand the edges really, really well, and make sure the edges are nice and smooth. Then just clean the glass, dry each one, and now glue them together. And I just kind of dab some small drops of glue all the way around the very edges or the ends, and then I press down or press them together nice and firm. And I repeat this 2 more times so that I have a total of 3 glass tops. At this point, I just let everything sit so my paint would dry and the glass and glue would be fully cured the next day, including my pre-built wall. Now, those need to be painted as well. I moved my project outside to my little outdoor shed, and that's why the lighting here changes a lot. But I used those little racks from Dollar Tree I use 3 of them just to kind of, set my shelf on while I work on it. Now, I love the solid white, but I really wanted to add some contrast. And I did that with some gold, or actually the color is called champagne. It's champagne glitter, and I got that from Walmart. And something new I discovered was using tacky glue with the glitter rather than Mod Podge. I was actually out of Mod Podge, but let me tell you, the coverage was just a one coat and done kind of deal. It was just really nice. Plus, when I moved it around, it didn't really shed. Once each little end is covered, then I just flip it over and I do the other side. And you can use something like a dry paintbrush to kind of dust away the excess glitter. Next, I remove the racks so the shelf could sit flat or level. And I grabbed one of the glass tops and I placed it 2 blocks high. Now, I was in the way of the camera here, but I added a very generous amount of the permanent clear glue on each side where I place the glass. Then I grab my pre-built wall that's 4 blocks high and I glue it directly on top of the glass and I press that firm into place. And because the ends have that extra block on the end of the E shape, it kind of throws things off balance as you build up. It's very obvious if one side has an extra block because it doesn't sit level. So to correct this, I have 2 single blocks glued side by side. I've already painted that, so I just place it on the very top and it levels it out before adding my next piece of glass. At first, I really didn't like the way the glue looked on the very top, kind of through the glass, So I glued 2 more single blocks on top of the glass itself so that the glue wouldn't show. But I later found out you really don't have to do this. So the centerpiece is 2 blocks high, a tabletop, 2 blocks high, a tabletop, 2 blocks high, and the final tabletop. The sides are the ones that have the 4 blocks high. So you just continue to repeat this. And then I just place some medium heavy containers on the glass tops and I allow that to sit and fully cure at least 24 hours before moving it. Now, once it's set for a while, I really put it to the test. I could easily pick it up from the very center of any section. I pick up on the ends and I set it down, and I did this again for each section. I can tell you, these bonded together really, really well. If you use a good glue and you give this process time to fully dry and cure, this will last. Whether you purchase something from Walmart or a high-end store or you DIY a small piece of furniture, if you take care of it, it's going to last. But if you abuse it, it simply won't last. The bottle of Clorox that you see in the video is full, and I set it on here. It sits just fine. Snap a few pictures, and this is the final result. Before I go, I just want to hop on for a moment and just let you know, I know things are really, really hard right now for a lot of people. But they will get better. We will get through this. But mainly I want you to know that I'm praying for you and your family each and every single day. I guess if there's a bright side, it would be that you're a crafter and you have a passion and a hobby that is indoors and that will help time go by. And I know I haven't been posting a lot here recently, or really in the past few months, but nothing's wrong. I just went through like this crash and burnout stage. Like, I don't know. I just, when I started YouTube, I went so hard, so full force, just hardcore. And, that was all I could think about each and every day. And when my computer crashed, it was almost like I crashed. And I'm getting back in there. I just really wanted to let those that's been asking about me, is anything wrong? Is everything okay? Yes, everything is okay. Like I said, it's just a burnout phase, and I'm coming out of it. So if you would like for me to come up with ideas like upcycling, recycling, using, household items that are very inexpensive, let me know. I can still do Dollar Tree stuff because I have a ton of supplies from Dollar Tree just kind of in my storage building. And I may do a little tour and kind of show you the inside of it if you wanted to see it. Anyway, I just really wanted to connect with you and reconnect with you right now, especially right now during these times, and tell you how much I appreciate you more than words could ever say. And if there's something that you can think of, you yourself know that you're more than welcome to leave me ideas or suggestions in the comments below, and I will see what I can come up with. Who knows? And maybe this kind of will broaden the spectrum here, and we can do some different type of DIY. So maybe some of you are loving the decor. I'm trying to figure out what I can do for people that would find use out of certain DIYs. So maybe like some organization DIYs or something. But anyway, I love you so much, and I just pray for you and your family, and that you take care, and I will see you very soon in the next one. And until then, keep calm, stay positive, keep crafting. Love you.